What's up guys, Kyle here from Footy-Boots.com once again, and today we're going to be taking another look at a rundown of what a brand has to offer. And no surprises for guessing who's on the table today. Of course, it's Puma. Now Puma are super hot in the world of football boots, equipment, cleats, all that good stuff at the moment, because the rulebook is out of the window for those guys. Over the last 18 months, 2 years or so, they've signed some massive names. Falcao, Aguero, Torre, Royce, Fabregas, the list goes on. But despite all that, one of the best things about Puma is that they still have a very traditional silo setup, making it very sort of easy to pick which boots you want. You've got speed, you've got power, control, and you've got a more heritage touch style boot. But today what we're going to do is break down some of what cleats, break down the cleats on offer, cut through a little bit of the marketing spiel and answer the question, who would wear which kind of boots? Of course, a fitting place to start would be with Puma's big summer release, and that is the evoSPEED 1.2. Now, the evoSPEED 1.2 is, as you can guess from the name, all about player speed, lightness and agility. How does it achieve it? Well, let's start with the upper, because whilst it's probably the same upper in terms of material as the original evoSPEED, what Puma have done is they've taken a lot of player feedback on board and they've created an exceptional one-layer synthetic upper called SpeedCell. Now, this is a leather texture synthetic material that's been enhanced with Griptex. Griptex is transparent 3D, almost goosebumps that run across the whole sort of front control area of the boot, offering additional control in the wet. Not only that, it's very light and it's very flexible, so that cuts down on the grams straight out of the box. On the inside of the boot, the inside of the SpeedCell is the EverFit cage. Now this yellow band that you can see running across both sides of the inside of the boot is designed to offer support, because this is a very thin upper. What it needs is that extra little bit of something to give you an extra level of stability, comfort and support as you move in the boot side to side, as you push off in different directions, track backwards, forwards, land. What you want is a very supportive boot, but you don't want to add the grams, and that is what the EverFit cage offers. Moving on to the sole plate, you've got what Puma called DuoFlex. Now, DuoFlex was on the original evoSPEED. It is designed basically to be individual channels that run through the boot in basically commonly used areas. So you've got kind of a toe-off area, you've got a quick full toe sort of sprinting, and you've got inside and outside sort of this X-shaped channel for when you're making quick movements in the boot. Now, supporting that, and in fact the opposite of flexible, is the speed track system. Now, Puma don't mention this too much in their marketing, but I think it's an excellent bit of kit. It kind of replaces the carbon fibre that you used to see on the SL version of the original evoSPEED and going back all the way to the V110. Now, this is basically designed to keep your foot in good form while you're sprinting. It locks the foot kind of forward in a very rigid spine. The idea being is that it keeps your ankles in good sort of biomechanical form as you move forward to really amplify what speed you've got. And additionally, it stops the foot and the boot bending too far backwards when you strike. It is a very rigid bit of material, so hopefully you get a little bit more energy return when you're striking the ball that way. Now, one of the questions that we always like to answer when we do these is what sort of player would get the most out of this football boot? And personally, for what it's worth, I love the evoSPEED 1.2. It's got a very sock-like, low-profile shape that puts it right up there with the most high-performing of speed boots. The Mercurial Vapor, the Adidas Adizero, the Pele Sports Trinity, those sort of cleats, the evoSPEED is right up there with them. But one of the things that I think the evoSPEED 1.2 has over other boots in its category is the fact that it's very traditional at its core. It's got a leather-like upper. This model is black fluo yellow. It's got a central lacing system and conical studs that aren't that much steeper or longer, sorry, than some of the more traditional boots on the market. So for players who've had knee injuries and want a lighter boot, then the conical studs should let them get away with that. It's essentially for, in my opinion, a speed boot for people who don't normally like speed boots. Next, we're going to take a look at Puma's next most recent release, the Puma King 2013 edition. Now, I always say I don't envy the person at Puma who has to redesign the King every year, because you're really tampering with a classic. I mean, this is a boot you can either do in a throwback way and be accused of not adding enough features, catering for the modern game, or making a boot too modern and claiming you've ruined what the King used to stand for. And as you can see, what Puma have done this time is they've taken it in a more modern direction. There's more sleek lines, a more complex construction than just a straight up leather boot, a little bit like the Finale or the XL were. And basically, it's like that in its construction as well. Puma are committed to phasing out K-leather, so what they've done is they've brought in calf leather on the Puma King 2013, and a lot of people will be crying foul because K-leather is widely regarded as one of the very best materials to make a football boot upper from, and I think Puma have taken that on board during the development process, because the calf leather that they've got is very, very good quality. It's very soft, very supple. And when you even take it out of the box, it looks like it's already been broken in. It's creased and weathered in all the right kind of ways you want from a football boot. I guess what Puma have done is they've said, right, well, if we can't have K-leather, then at least what we can do is we can put a little bit more effort into the treatment and tanning processes to create a boot that performs as well as if it were made out of K-leather. As for the rest of the upper, what you've got is a synthetic microfiber from the foam stripe back. So what you'll find is this leather looking stuff isn't actually leather, and this is very much a plasticky feeling synthetic. What this has enabled Puma to do is to create a lighter King for one, a stronger King for another, and a better fitting one, because what you won't find is that this won't stretch in the sides. No matter how much you pull the laces and stuff like that, you'll end up with the same consistent fit. And the fit is something that's very, very important to any Puma King, because it's built its legacy on being a player's boot. You know, any player worth his salt has probably at least tried a Puma King on at some point. So, what sort of player would get the most out of the Puma King? Well, for me, it's a player that values comfort, stability, and a great natural feel on the ball more than anything else. Puma have really done an outstanding job bringing in a calf leather that feels like a K-leather to keep the Puma King what a Puma King should be about. And that offers a really great level of feel on the ball across this whole 4-foot area. The fit is also outstanding. The microfiber can be pulled really tight across the whole boot, and that's only something that's complemented by the tongue. It's super thin down at the bottom here, allowing for really snug, pulling the laces fully tight, flush to your foot for a great strike because it is paper thin in there. But up at the top, where it matters the most, you've got these pads that are built right into the tongue, so you can pull the ankle tight without getting that nasty, cutting off your circulation sort of bite across that part of the foot. Working with that, and something that you won't find on Puma's marketing material, in fact, is the leather heel liner. Now, I don't know whether this is synthetic or a natural leather, but it certainly feels natural leather. It's very very grippy. It's got a nice level of texture and friction to it that'll lock your foot in place. It's also very soft and offers a very luxurious fit when you're playing. If you normally get blistered heels from playing in that sort of thing, playing in boots, then you will, this might meet their match, to be honest. It's a very comfortable boot in that department. Something that's only helped by the big chunky heel counter that is extra durability and protection built in right there. It's the first Puma King to have an external heel counter, so there's that little bit of trivia for you. And that moulds in right into the stud plate, which again is everything you'd expect from a Puma King, with this modern twist. You've got traditional conical studs, and these run all the way up to the top in the firm ground model, and you've got these squared away angular studs that are used a little bit like a speed boots might be, where you've got these shaped studs offering a little bit more stability on boots, parts of the boot where you don't turn. It's conical here where you're doing the most turning, but where stability matters, you get the squared away ones for a more natural level of grip on the ball. So yeah, that is the sort of player I think would get the most out of the Puma King. Finally, we're going to be taking a look at these, the Puma Powercat 1.12, or the Powercat 1 as they're known nowadays. Now, this is another Puma football boot that I'm personally a big fan of. What you've got is what I feel is a great hybrid of power and control, a successor, if you like, to the Adi Power, which I know people really dug, this hybrid of shooting and passing. So Puma have achieved that basically by using a natural K-leather boot, especially around the forefoot here, not so much on this microfiber outstep, I should say. And what you've got is a very natural sort of thin leather around where you'd pass the ball, but up to the top where you're going to be taking a lot of your first touches and striking the ball, it's cushioned, and that is so it can support and both enhance the 3D PST Duo, and that's Power Shooting Technology Duo. A follow-up to what was on the gill shapes on the Powercat 1.10, what you have here is instead a dual density element. You've got this very hard, high rebound area that's designed to generate more contact on the ball as you strike it, and you've got these fins that again enhance control. So when you're taking a ball from on high, you're going to get naturally a little bit more friction, a little bit of support on the ball as you bring it down. Working with that, you've got the side offset lacing system. Now, any boot worth its salt in this sort of category has a side offset lacing system, and the Powercat 1.2 has one of the best. It creates this huge striking sweet spot here, both on the forefoot, where you'd maybe do most of your striking more towards the instep, where you're going to do curling crosses for your kicks, and you're also going to get this nice generous area if you're a knuckleball sort of person. And that's only enhanced by the fact that you get this nice big passing area on the instep as well. To top it all off, you get the heel counter. Now that's P-backs, like Puma have used on the other boots on their range, and that moulds all the way down into the rest of the sole plate for a real sense of grip and support as you're striking the ball. If you plant your foot as you're striking, you know that's not going to go anywhere. A real sense of stability as you strike with your other foot. So, to answer the question that we love to answer, who gets the most out of a boot like this? Well, for me, the Powercat 1 is a lot like the Nitrocharge in the sense that it's a great all-around boot that combines a lot of elements into something that I think a lot of people will enjoy. If I had to maybe give the Powercat a little bit of something extra over any of the other boots in the Puma range, I'd say it offers more protection. Not only have you got a heel counter that's a little bit less significant than the Puma King, but you've also got the 3D PST Duo. It's actually very firm when you hit it. You get like a dull thud when you hit the K-leather, which is padded by the way. It's quite nice, takes a little bit of the sting off the tackle. But the 3D PST Duo will probably, at least take the majority of the pressure off of getting stamped on with your stud. So, if you're looking for a protective boot that offers that tech element that you get with the 3D PST, you don't get that on any of the other boots in the Puma range, then this is the boot for you. You get a nice K-leather upper combined with a lightweight synthetic microfiber quarter, and generally it's completely different to the other boots in the Puma range. It's even probably the only one with blades anymore in the firm ground model and a non-hybrid soft ground sole plate. So it's a little bit of the black sheep, but I still think it's an excellent boot. Now, we finished off last time with a comparison of what boot fits which type of foot, which I know that a lot of people found useful from the tweets and comments that we got. So to do that again, Puma actually have a case of three kind of extremes that will probably benefit different types of players. So, starting things off, the Powercat is probably the best for the wider foot. It's naturally a wider shape. It's got a very bulb-like sort of outstep here, accommodating where most people's feet are a little bit wider or flatter. It's got a natural K-leather upper that has a decent amount of stretching, not as much as a pure K-leather boot because of the 3D PST, but all in all, a very accommodating boot. If you're more wide in the midfoot, I'd say you can slacken off the side offset lacing system enough to accommodate, but if in doubt, go half a size up because that heel counter might stop it from getting to as wide as you'd want it to. Next, I'd have to go for the Puma King. Now what you've got here is you've got a centrally laced boot that can be slacked off to accommodate many types of foot. Unless you have an extremely wide fitting foot, I would say that the Puma King will fit your feet. For a narrower fit, you've got the microfiber which won't stretch, and that can be pulled nice and tight with the central lacing system. However, in the toes, for a little bit wider feet or unusually shaped feet, you have a natural leather with a fair amount of stitching that will stretch. To finish off, I'd say that the evoSPEED is the least wide foot friendly. I love the evoSPEED's naturally ergonomic shape. It's very form fitting. It's very narrow in the midfoot and the heel counter really locks your foot in place. But what that won't give you is a wider fit that will stretch. The synthetic upper, again, much like the F50 like we talked about last week, it just has basically zero natural give in it. And that's one of the charms for a lot of people, but if you're looking to get a little bit of stretch out of the box, that isn't going to happen for you in the case of the evoSPEED. So, I'm going to bring the video to a close there. That wraps up our look at the three silos in the current Puma range. There are SL versions available, but they usually just knock off the heel counters, swap the natural leather boots for a synthetic microfiber, and except in the case of the SL where it's an even thinner K leather that they use, which apparently is very, very nice to play in. But I don't have them in front of me, so I can't really compare them. Maybe I will in the future. But until next time, be sure to check out the site where you'll get all the latest news, boot reviews, features, all that good stuff that we do on Footy-Boots.com, alongside the Facebook, the Twitter, Google+, Instagram. All that good stuff gets unique content, so if you want to get the full picture on a pair of boots, follow us through the review process, then you want to be making sure that you're subscribing to at least 1 or 2 of those. So, other than that, I guess I'll say thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions about any of the boots, as with the Adidas one, I did my best to answer each and every comment, so be sure to drop them in there and I'll get back to you about anything that I might have missed. Other than that, hit us up through any of the social channels, and until next time, thanks for watching.